Kia ora koutou. Today, I wanted to introduce you to this amazing tool that you can see on the screen, which is called the Co-Starters Canvas. You might have come across some similar canvases like this before, so there's lots of different variations out there. There's a lean canvas, a business model canvas, a social lean canvas, you name it. But the idea of all of those canvases is sort of very similar and simple. It is about displaying your business model or your business plan, but on one page, and understanding how each of these things relate to each other. So I wanted to very quickly run you through how you can use this as a tool so you can use it at home and you can apply any idea to it. And the beauty about it is you can actually print it out, you can put it on your wall, you can use post-its and then stick them on there. As things change, you can change the post-its, you can add things to it. So it's really sort of agile, interactive tool. It's really easy to communicate what your business is to other people, whether they be potential co-founders, whether it's customers, partners, or even investors. It's just a very great tool. That's why we love it. Okay, a quick run through. As you can see on your left-hand side, there is a big box called the customer. And we usually start there. You don't have to start there, but it's about thinking what is the person or who is the person that you're actually serving. And thinking a bit deeper about not just demographic attributes that you might think of straight away, such as age, gender, income level, location, but it's also about thinking about sort of behavioral characteristics. So some of you might have come across the concept of a persona before. So that's what we would like to do when we're thinking about the customer. Really creating a mental picture of that person. What is it that they thinking, feeling, what gets them going, where do they socialize, all of those sort of things. They're not easily observed on the surface level. They're sort of more deeper emotional sort of behavioral characteristics. So that's sort of what we want you to do to focus when you're looking at this customer box. And the next box we want to focus on is the one next to it called the problem. And this is ready for you to think about what is the problem that you're solving for that particular customer. Sometimes it's not a problem. Sometimes you might be spotting an opportunity. You might have a certain skill set that and you see that there's an opportunity to market, to bring that skill set to the market in a way. If you're coming from a creative background, especially if you're sort of an artist, often it's not a problem. It is actually, you expressing yourself. So it doesn't always have to be a problem. But generally speaking, for most of you, it's probably a good starting point to think about what is the problem that this customer faces that I'm solving. Straight underneath, you see the alternatives. And that's sort of for you to think about what are the ways that currently those customers use to solve that problem. So you might want to think about it as competition. That's another sort of word for it. And you have direct competition. So people in the space doing exactly the same thing as you. So that could be, in that very simple case, Coke and Pepsi. They're both direct competitors. But another alternative could be other sweet soft drinks. If you're more thinking about, something that wakes you up, maybe there's actually energy drinks. Maybe as an alternative, it could also be water, because if you're really, really thirsty, then you're also going to drink water if there's no Coke or Pepsi or other soft drinks available. So I guess it's for you to sort of think about how narrow or how wide you define that, and different horses for different courses. It might be in your field that you have to define it a little bit broader, or it might be that you decide to define it a little bit more narrow. But it's about thinking about alternative ways that people solve that issue currently. Then up the top, we focus on the solution, and that's really thinking about what is it that you're selling. What is your product or service? What are the features of it? And it very closely linked to the thing right in the middle called the benefit. This is really thinking about the customer's point of view again, and what are the benefits that customers can get out from solving from using your product or your service. So it could be things like you're giving them more of something, like you're giving them access to something they previously haven't had, you're giving them more convenience, or you're giving them less of something, like you're giving them less hassle, less stress. So sort of things, different things to think about for you in terms of the benefits that customers get out of it. Next, underneath is the advantage, and that's now looking inwards towards your own advantage. So, why are you a good person or the best person in order to start that business? As you grow, it might be more the advantage of your business as opposed to others in this space. But to start off with, it's really about yourself. Maybe you have some really unique insights into the industry. Maybe you've worked in that industry and you've gained some experience firsthand. Maybe you actually represent a target customer yourself. You've encountered this problem over and over and you really want to solve it. You're really passionate about it. Maybe you have access to networks or money, capital. Maybe it's a combination of all of those things. So really think about why it's about selling yourself. Why are you the best person to start this business? Then we move on to a message up the top. And it's sort of linked to marketing as well. It's the message that you're trying to communicate to people. What is it? And it needs to be something really short, really concise, that people can remember. And so, first of all, what is the message? And second of all, how are you going to convey that message to others as well? So it's twofold. And then on the right hand side, underneath, you can see distribution. And it's about how does the product or service get to customers? So is it that you selling it directly by your own website, or maybe you've got a physical store somewhere? Is it indirectly? Is it that you're selling through supermarkets or sort of third parties? Is it indirectly of a website? So kind of thinking about that. Sometimes it's also both, I guess it can be, but it's really what's most convenient for your customer is the important thing. It's not what's most convenient for you, what you would like to do. It's about your customer. It's always about the customer. And on the right hand side here, you can see revenue. And that's a fancy word for the money coming in if you've got no finance background. So how are you going to get the money? Is it in a one-off transaction? So, if you are literally selling something in the store, people go on your website, they pay you up front, $50 for that new drink bottle that you developed, and, check out and you ship it, boom. Or is it a subscription like Netflix? So they pay on a monthly basis. So really thinking about how you might get the money coming in. And then underlying, you can see two boxes, and these are the costs. So all the money going out related to your business. On the left-hand side, we distinguish startup costs are any costs that you require or any needs that you have to fulfill before you can serve your first customer. So anything that you need to get ready. So it might be you have to purchase a specific equipment or certain software, or you might have to get some expertise in to develop a unique recipe, or get some advice on something. It might be that you need to get certain people on board. It might be you get some startup capital, whatever. It could be a combination of all of those things. It could be time, could be money, could be skills, could be things. And then on the right-hand side, these are your ongoing costs. So that's really anything. Once you got going and you open, so you see that sign switches from coming soon to open now. All the costs that then that your business needs to pay. So that would be your own time or anyone else's time. Labor costs, salaries, wages, those sort of things. Could be again special software or equipment. Space, power, phones, all sorts of things. So that's sort of your ongoing costs. Right, so as you can see, there's lots to think about, and all of these will relate to each other as well. So what we would like you to do is just give it a crack. Don't overthink it. Literally spend 5 minutes on it. Intuitively, what comes to you, put on post-its, put it on the canvas and have a go. And then as you go through validation of all of your assumptions that you've put on the canvas, you might change those. But that's a good starting point for you. And feel free to reach out if you've got any questions. And there's also some more information on our AUT Beta website under resources. Otherwise, flick us an email or pop in at AUT and City Campus, and we'll see you soon.